Welcome back to CBS Mornings. The drought in the West has become so severe that the federal government has declared the Colorado River water shortage to be the worst on record. Now, that triggers automatic cuts to the water supply for Arizona and Nevada, too. And the government is now threatening unprecedented cuts for all the states that draw water from the river unless they start using less. Ben Tracy visited Lake Powell, one of the largest reservoirs on the Colorado River, to see the toll that this mega drought is taking.
We're going to buoy number 3, they call it.
Paul McNabb and his dad Mike are fishing guides on Utah's Lake Powell. They've been casting along these canyons for decades.
Hey, caught one.
They're worried that the wall in front of their favorite fishing hole will just keep getting taller.
I'm looking at spots that 30, 40 feet up the wall where my bait was hitting where I was fishing just a year ago.
So you're saying literally a year ago, this boat we're on right now would have been 30, 40 feet up there?
Yep. It's absolutely crazy how much it's come down.
At one point, Lake Powell had dropped nearly 40 feet in just 1 year. These satellite images show how quickly it has shriveled up during a 22-year-long mega drought. As climate change makes the West hotter and drier, this massive reservoir is now just 25% full. That white bathtub ring is where the water was before the drought began, 166 feet higher than it is now.
If the lake continues to keep going down at the rate that it is, it's a pretty scary situation.
What do you predict about the future of this business you got?
I would say that we got 5 years left.
And then your business is done.
Yep.
Houseboats are already running out of room. 10 of Lake Powell's 12 boat ramps are closed because they can't reach the water. If the lake keeps falling, the Glen Canyon Dam won't be able to produce hydropower, impacting the electricity supply for more than 5 million people in 6 states. In April, the Assistant Secretary of the Interior warned Western governors of profound concerns in operating the dam at lower lake levels, and that the Western electrical grid would experience uncertain risk and instability.
Well, I'm very concerned.
Brian Hill is general manager of Page Utilities. The Arizona town used to get 50% of its electricity from the dam. That's been cut in half as lake levels have fallen.
For all the Southwest, I think the situation is critical. So Mother Nature is going to have to come to the rescue, or we're going to have to really look at some different ways at how we use water throughout the Southwest.
Lake Powell is considered a savings account, banking excess water and then sending it down the Colorado River to Lake Mead, the nation's largest reservoir. This river system supplies water for 40 million people in the West. In an unprecedented move, the federal government is holding back most of the water that would have been sent downriver and propping up Lake Powell with water from reservoirs upriver.
It is a Band-Aid fix, and everybody knows it.
Eric Balkin runs the Glen Canyon Institute, named for the massive canyon that was flooded to create Lake Powell back in the 1960s after the dam was built.
At this moment, Lake Powell was born.
Before the dam was in place, Glen Canyon was considered one of the most remarkable landscapes in the U.S. People who knew it well considered it to be as beautiful as the Grand Canyon. Seeing this place come back to life is just such a special experience.
Now, as the water recedes, the lost treasures of Glen Canyon are re-emerging.
This is just stunning in here.
It's a very special place.
Balkin took us into what's known as Cathedral in the Desert, a massive cavern of undulating rock and a trickling waterfall.
So that part of the chamber has not been seen since the 1960s. When we were here last year, we were parking our boats right here.
And now, one of the largest natural bridges in the country has risen out of the water.
This bridge was covered by water, so what we're boating under, you used to be able to boat over?
You used to be able to boat over the top of this bridge.
And you think we'll be hiking under here?
I think we'll be hiking under here probably in the next few years.
This is amazing. It's like a dead forest coming out of the water.
Yeah, we call them ghost forests.
Forests once drowned on the canyon floor are reappearing. New plants and trees are starting to grow nearby. And Balkin says ancient footholds from indigenous people who climbed here more than 1,000 years ago can now be seen.
As more and more of these incredible one-of-a-kind features come out of water, there's no reason they shouldn't be protected.
Balkan wants Glen Canyon to become a national park, part of a movement to drain Lake Powell and fill up Lake Mead, since both reservoirs are at critically low levels.
The purpose of the reservoir was to store excess water. And we're in a place now where excess water is a thing of the past. The rate of change that we're seeing now is happening way faster than I ever thought it would, which is startling in some ways, but it also gives me a lot of hope because we're seeing so much come back.
Because right now, this is both a reservoir on life support and a lost canyon being reborn. For CBS Mornings, I'm Ben Tracy in Big Water, Utah.
Those images are stunning.
Yeah, they're actually very beautiful, but we're not supposed to be able to see them. That's what's so upsetting about it.
Yeah.
We shouldn't even be able to look at that.
Very haunting backstory. 40 million people depending on that water. It just keeps going lower and lower. 10 of 12 boat drops are shut down. The ramps are not usable because the water has receded that much. Think about that.
And Tony Hugh believes that we'll be able to hike under it. That's not good.
When our environment starts to yell at us instead of whisper to us,
Exactly.
we need to pay attention.
Pay attention.
That's for sure.